We're back for part 2 of washing our sheets and towels. In this episode, we're going to take our clothes from the dryer, actually put them in the dryer, dry them, take them out, and actually make our bed. Last time we folded the sheets and the towels and put them in the linen closet, but today we're going to actually make our bed. So we took the stuff from the washer, put it in the dryer, and then I want to show you, you put everything in the dryer, and you can put in a dryer sheet if you have one. It doesn't look like there's a dryer sheet here. Some of the soaps come with a softening or a de-static element to them, so you don't necessarily have to have dryer sheets, but the dryer sheets will cut down on the static that your clothes build up in the dryer. Before using your dryer, you should always check to make sure your lint screen is clear. This one's in pretty good shape. Put it back in. If you try to dry with a full lint screen, it'll use a lot of extra electricity, so it's more expensive. But not only that, you can burn up the dryer. It overheats because the lint is blocking the passage of the air. So you want to turn it on. This particular panel will give you an option of sheets. It's got casuals, which are clothing, towels, delicates, which are like lingerie, and bulky sheets. So we put it on bulky sheets. We put it over here on time dry, and that way the dryer will know when the sheets are dry to turn it off. That's actually the best way to go about it. So here, notice this dryer says check your lint, but we already did that. And then you're gonna hold it to start, and you turn your dryer on. As soon as the clothes are dry, we're gonna go ahead and go back into the bedroom and make the bed. All right, now we're gonna make the bed, and we're starting with our fitted sheet. And sometimes the fitted sheet, it's hard to figure out which is the long ways and which is the short ways, but the first thing you want to do is make sure this is how the seam looks. That's the outside. This is the inside. You can see the seam there. So we're shooting for the outside, and this looks shorter to me. So you want to make sure that you've put the corner where the seam is. Can you see from there? You want to put the corner where the seam is and tuck it underneath the mattress. The elastic has to go underneath the mattress. So we're going to do the same thing at this end. Looks like I'm right, that this is the short side of the sheet because it's shorter across. See how it's starting to look really nice on the end? The way that you get it to lay flat is you tuck it under the mattress, even the edges. So when you come along here and you're pulling this in, sometimes I do it like this. I put my hand on it to hold on to the corner so that I'm positive I've got it on there right. See, you can see, and then see how this bunches up? It won't bunch up if you tuck it in so that it's flat. Got to tuck it under so it's flat. See that? All right, last side. It should get harder and harder to do, only because, whoops, I'm knocking your lamp over. Also, I was pulling it up enough so I can pull from under here and make it flat as well. This bed the mattress is really tight against the cushions, and so, but it won't lay flat like this if you don't tuck it underneath. And that's in your rubric to tuck it under. All right, next we're going to put on the top sheet. All right, so here we are. I am trying to get this to lay down flat, my flat sheet, and I've already determined, see the seam? How wide the seam is? That's the top sheet, and you place it just slightly back behind the mattress. I don't like to put it all the way up at the edge because then at night I can't find it. So I scoot it back a little bit, about 2 inches from the top of the mattress. And that's the first challenge, is getting that. The second challenge is you have to have the sheet hang over evenly on both sides. Sometimes that takes a little extra time. So we're going to walk over, pull our sheet across, and try to get it to line up straight with the other side. And now you can see I have a lot of extra side over here. So I'm going to go look to the other side and make sure I have as much over here as I have over here. Now see, come on over here. You can see I didn't do that right. See how much shorter that is? So we're going to have to pull this carefully. Give it a little bit of a tug so that I can hang it over. And pull this as well so that it's even. Because that's the other thing, is I need it to be even all the way across. I don't want it to be shorter at the top than it is at the bottom. That works. And then we'll come back over here. Okay, and this looks good too. This looks pretty good, except for this has to be pulled. Yeah, so it's the same on both sides. Excellent. So let me pull it down from here, just slightly to make it tight. All right, so this is the hard part about putting a bed together. This is what I learned from my grandmother, who was a nurse. These are called hospital corners, and they'll make your sheets stay on the bed for the full week in between washings. So first thing you do, you get the end of it, end of the sheet, and you're going to tuck it under. And you want to pull your mattress up high so that you can pull the sheet at this back end. So see how I'm pulling it tight all the way through so that it's tight back here as well. And you see I have a bit of an overhang where I pulled it, and I pulled it tight as I can. So that overhang is your lesson. So over here at the corner, you're going to find a crease, and you're going to put it up just like this. So you make a nice triangle. See the triangle? It's kind of a skewed one. And you tuck that in, and look when it hangs down. Oh, that's not a good one. Hang on. This is going to be a little bit harder. There you go. And then you're going to tuck like that, and you have a little corner here. Come look. This side. See how you have it with the point? You've got it tucked fine. All right, so we're going to do the same thing over here. This is the hard part. Again, excuse me. You want to get this bottom, because you have to pull it all the way through. So you lift the mattress up high enough to where you can pull it all the way under. Can you see that? I've pulled it all the way under, and I'm moving that here so that I have this overhang, and I've got to fold that under. This is going to hang down. There's my seam, and then I'm going to tuck it in again, and there it is, nice and even. Yay! And that will hold your bed together. No matter how crazy a sleeper you are, that'll hold it together. All right, last but not least is the comforter, and then we'll do pillowcases. All right, we're back with the comforter, and you'll notice that I turned it so that the stitching goes the long way. And so I'm gonna just pull that up, over, and I'm not gonna tuck it in at the bottom until I have a better idea of how much fabric I have on either side. I'm gonna have to move that up a little bit. All right. So this is a nice covering, takes it all the way down to the wood. This side's the same way. Got it all the way down to the wood, looks great. So here we have to tuck. Normally we don't have to do it so tightly, but this is a sleigh bed. That's what this is called. It looks like a sleigh. And because it's a sleigh bed, there's not a lot of room down here. But we want to tuck it in so our mattress looks flat and our sheets lay on it nicely. All right, so I've got some pillowcases. I think that these pillows over here, this is a nice contrasting color. It matches the bedding. And this is a pillowcase. So there are two ways to do a pillowcase. First of all, you want to lay it like this, and you'll see that it's supposed to fit on here just like this. So the way I do it is to hold it about halfway in the middle over my shoulder, and you can pull it up like this. And this is nice because this pillow is thick. You just want to make sure your corners are tight, and look, your pillow's nice and tight. All right. So there's some already done pillows. This one's less tight, and you can move it down, but you want to make sure if it can go into the corners that it's already doing that. This one is on crooked, so you have to kind of move it around. That's what I know. Sometimes they get in and they're crooked. So you have to make the seam go along the side of the pillowcase so that it's even. This is what's called a pillow sham. It is decorative and it zips up. So we can fit it on just like a regular pillowcase. Wow, you could have a much bigger pillowcase, pillow in here. You could have a king size pillow if you wanted. I will just fold it like that and do it there. All right, and then I think this is part of their bed. And it's nice and bright. Everything is neat and clean. And the bed's ready for the week. And this is how you should do it. Every week, the sheets come off, they get washed. In this case, the comforter also got washed. If your comforter will fit in the washing machine, that's great. If not, you might have to take it down to the laundromat to put it in one of the bigger washers that doesn't have the agitator in the middle. But every week, your sheets and pillowcases should get washed, and that will help with infections and flu and all kinds of nasty yucks that make it into your bed during the week. All right, so that's household chore number 3. We are doing the laundry, cleaning our bathrooms, and changing the sheets on our bed once a week, every week. All right, guys, I'll see you next week, and we'll do regular laundry.